Hi everybody, I'm going to show you how to replace this broken water valve, so stay tuned. Okay, as you can see here, I got a valve that's missing its handle. It broke off when I was doing a cleaning. I got a new one right here. And one thing about these, if you need to replace one, you need to make sure it's either a threaded fitting or a slip fitting. Now, threaded fitting, you can see it has threads in there. Now, slip fitting will be smooth on the inside. So you need to be aware of that. Now, one thing about valves, they should be all threaded fittings, just for this reason here. Now, I got all this taken care of. I have this drained out. Got some water going over to my sump tank. So there'll probably still be water in this. Probably not, because this valve is in the off position. So when it broke, it looked like that. And that's open. Now, as you can see, it's pretty much completely shut off. So what I'm going to have to do is come in here and cut the pipe out. Now, I got pretty much everything out of the way here. Now, if you have a small area like this, you want to try and keep it as even as possible. That way you have enough pipe on either side to make the necessary connections. There we go. See, I might be able to get that valve out of there without having to cut that. There we go. If you use a threaded fitting, it'll be that easy. Looks like I'm gonna have to go get some tools here. Right back. Okay. With my luck, I found the biggest tools we had. How about they'll still walk? I think I have that going the right way. Oh. No, he's go the other way. That was on the tight. As you can see in there, it's closed off. That one. It's open. Yeah. Hopefully you can see it. I got some of this old fed tape off of here. Put some flesh on it. Now, when you put thread tape or plumber's tape on here, on anything that has threads on it, you need to be careful which way the threads are going, because you want the tail end of the tape to face away from the direction that you'll be threading the valve on. Because if you don't do this correctly, it could leak. Now, what I do is I hold the threaded connection in my left hand, tape in my right hand with it coming off towards me, and I just apply it that way. You ain't too sure, just look at the end of it, see which way it's facing. If it's facing towards you, that's the correct direction. And you just put it on there. Now about 3 or 4 layers should do the trick. But a few extras sometimes don't hurt. Because once you put this back together, you have to cut it apart again to fix it. Now what we need to do is go ahead and glue one of these sleeves on here. But first we need to go and clean and dry everything. That way the glue won't get too watery and won't set up. Get the tape off of here too. Get that cleaned up. And basically try and do this one the same way. That'll be hard to do with it like this, so try to do your best. Now, when you're dealing with the pipe glue, you'll want to wear gloves and have some old clothing on, because once this glue primer gets on here, onto your hands or clothing, it's very hard to get off. Now, the first step we need is the primer, which 9 times out of 10 is going to be purple. Now, this is good for CPVC and PVC. Now, if you're doing it inside a house, you want to put down carpet or cardboard or something that you don't want or need. That way, when you drop some of the primer and glue on it, it doesn't ruin anything good. Apply it in there. Now you have to put primer in the connections because it does a couple of things. It cleans the any grime or ink or anything off the PVC, and it also gets the fitting or pipe propelled for the glue. Now, if you never used this stuff before, you want to use this preferably outside. You can get high off of it. I wouldn't suggest doing that, because it probably won't end well. Because I'm out of my greenhouse, so got plenty of ventilation. Now, the pipe glue you have to be a little bit more careful of, because there's different types of plastic they use for pipe, and some of these glues are made for certain types of plastic. Now, you can actually buy the glue and primer in a 2-piece kit. It comes in containers this size, and you can get even bigger ones. Now, this particular stuff is clear because it took on the purple shade of the primer, but there's different types for different applications. Like, they even make one that's waterproof, so you can use it on wet connections, and that stuff is glue. And when you put it together, you want to push it in and twist. Now, you want to, on the larger connections, you want to hold it for a few seconds, because some of these larger pipes, like 2-inch and up, has a tendency to push off, and that won't be good, because once you get the glue on there, you have to take a knife and scrape it off. I can't twist it no more, so the glue is starting to set up, so I can move on to this next piece. Again with the primer, and try to go all the way around. Now, as you can see, it's stained the PVC there. That ain't coming off. But for this, it doesn't really matter. Now we got our new valve here. And we want to go ahead and start putting this back together. Now you want to get this these threaded fittings as tight as possible. That way the leaks are little to none. Now if you can't get this down tight enough, you'll want to use crescent wrenches or pipe wrenches, preferably smaller ones. But that seems good and tight. Now because I'm gonna have about at least 3/8 of an inch, all the way up to 3/4 inch of additional pipe here, because this coupling, you could probably cut it down a little bit, but if the pipe is under pressure, don't do that. Now this is not pressurized in this area, but this here is. But you probably get away with cutting it down a little bit shorter, but I wouldn't suggest doing that. But because of the additional height, all of this is going to be a little bit higher, well, it's going to make it a little bit more interesting getting everything lined back up, but it's no big deal. So now we need to go and put the valve back on. Because we have a tight space here, it's going to be tricky. You might have to, let's go in reverse here. There you go. Now the thread, start putting it on. Now because of all this is already made up and we're just replacing this, this is actually going to be a little tricky to get everything hooked back up, but it is doable. And some people wonder why plumbers charge so much. This is pretty much why. Now, one thing you need to worry about, because you're doing this by yourself, you have to do the gluing and getting the pipe and fitting back together as fast as possible, because the moment the glue meets the air on these fittings, it starts to cure, and it cures very quick. I need to get the glue on both sides. Have the connection here. And get it on there. Yeah. Now there you go. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave this set for about 30 minutes to give it time to cure and set up, because this is a low pressure side, so I ain't worried about it. But if he's working on replacing anything on this side, we'll have to leave it set for over an hour for a full complete set and cure. So what I'm going to do is turn the camera off and leave this set for a few minutes. Okay, now it's been about 25-30 minutes. As you can see, the water valve's in the off position. Now we need to go and try to get the siphon going again. One way I do that, and you over here, as you can see, I have a fitting here. How this actually works, this fitting drains into this tank, and there's a pump in here that pumps it out. I have a T connection here so I can have a bypass around this filter tank, so when I clean it, I have a way to bypass water. Now I got this valve back here open. This one here doesn't close all the way. That's actually no big deal. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this hose here and put it in there and have water push all the air out. We should be hearing or seeing some gurgling over there. There's the gurgling. I get much of that air out of there. It looks like it stopped. Yeah, we did. I would say that did the trick. Okay, now we got that taken care of. What we need to do now, close this valve off. Let's see if we can get water into this tank. Yep, there she comes. Now we need to go and put this filter pad back in place. Leave it fill up. I did take some water off of this tank, so I need to put some more water back into it. And here comes the water. Should be seeing it any second now. There it is. Now what we need to do is come over here and make sure we have no leaks. And we're pretty much it. No leaks, no problems. So I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope it helps you out a little bit. And I'll catch you on the next one.